Okay, so these aspens are just so thick. I'm going to go through and kill off these little ones like this. Use the beaver chew technique, which I might not have to do so much. Out of the way. With this here maul, so I can get in so much deeper. I'll take you guys in for a close-up in a minute, show you the beaver chew technique. It's a great way to take down larger. I mean, you could take it down a lot larger than this. I mean, if you really needed to, you could twist this and bust it. You can take down larger things and do it with just a small belt knife, which is nice. So I can bend these to the side and smack them as well, and that pressure really helps when you slice through it. All right, let me kind of show you guys the beaver chew technique. It's a great little method for taking down larger things. I mean, cutting through this with a knife is pretty difficult, but if you've got a baton, I made a maul, but you could do this with just a baton. You can come in on the side at a nice, like about 45-degree angle or so, and then smack your knife in. Your knife's definitely got to be able to baton and handle some abuse. Go in till you're about into the heartwood in the middle of it, and then you see you get this little kind of leaf out of here, right? Like a little clover leaf. So you end up making like a little clover at the base of this. So now we come in at this angle. I have a hard time getting my maul all the way over the other side. On this side, okay. This side I could go in a bit more. I've got this little other aspen in my way. There we go. Okay. I can come through on the other side, finish it off, and then you can pretty much just push it over to the side. Last cut. Come all the way around. Here's just a ton of little broken dead branches, which is going to be great for fire once I get around to it. Alright, you know what, I think I need to come in more. So this is still quite thick. Could probably just pry it over. You know, it's not too bad. There you go. Let me finish off this. Penny's giving me a little snip. There we go. You kind of get this clover leaf flower looking thing right there. And that's all done with just a primitive maul and a knife that can baton. So anyways, I'm gonna get going on these, keep laying them across my shelter. So I'm betting some of you are wondering what the point of this maul is, right? I mean, you just say, you have that baton, you have that stick, just use that or find a straighter one. The nice part about this is that the handle is small enough that I can grab, but I have all this extra weight on top that I can really hit stuff hard, but I don't have such a large piece of wood that I'm trying to hold on to. So I kind of get the best of both worlds with having the large hitting power, but without having such a large handle. And plus I can smooth the handle out and get it kind of to the size of my hand, which is nice. So I've got quite a few more of these aspen saplings. And I cut them down at the base, but then they have all this extra length, right? So this really didn't have any leaves on it. Sorry, this big long length that didn't really have any leaves on it. So I'm just going to lean them on top here, and then I'm going to cut them straight across using my baton. The nice part about the baton is I got all that extra power. I can just slice through that even inch long size, and it's really not a big deal. And it's safe. Right? Out here by myself except for a dog. Don't want to get hurt. Anyways, I can keep laying these across, slowly build up a nice framework. Penny found herself some really old bones that are pretty destroyed. So that's good. Something she can munch on. I've got dog food for her, but it's nice if she's can get her own food. And they look very old, so I really don't think there's a chance of her getting any parasites out of it. I don't think anything but bacteria could live that long. So one tip I'd like to give you guys, if you're stuck out and you've got all these quaking aspens around you like I do, one thing you can do is you'll notice it on my pants here. This is, and on my hands, powder from the aspens. So the cool part about this is that you can run up to a larger tree, wipe off the powder onto your finger. So I just got that right off of there. You can wipe that onto you and it works like sunscreen. So I'm not sure if it's got some specific value or some nutrients or something in it that helps your skin, or it's just the act of having powder on you that blocks. But I do know that this, if you needed to, you didn't have a hat or something like I do, you could throw this on your neck as sunscreen and protect yourself from the sun. So I'm gonna keep, Penny? I'm gonna keep going on this shelter. One thing I'm looking at is I'd love to drill a hole through the handle of this, thread some cordage through there, probably some natural cordage because I don't really need it to be strong. Then I could hang this up and it'd be kind of nice. But I don't have a drill, and that's one thing I've been thinking about keeping is just the drill bit, which would be 1.5 ounces. Granted, that's more weight and I hate that. But then I could drill through things like this. You know, I'd only have one size hole. You know, I'd probably do like a 1/2 inch size hole, and I'd be able to drill through here, maybe make containers, doing many holes and then kind of hollowing it out, something like that. But that's something that I would like to get in my kit if I could afford to not carry all that extra weight. But I don't know. So this knife is the PLSK1 from Dave Canterbury. Designed it. It's made by Blind Horse Knives, or at least it was. Now it's made by, I believe, Battle Horse Knives. But I got it before that company split up. And so now, this is the one I've been using for doing all this batoning, and it just kicks trash. I mean, I'm not worried about busting this thing at all. It's like 3/8 of an inch or something, which is quite enormous. So this is dry right here. There we go. Still made it through. But it's got a couple of cool features that I haven't really seen on any other knives. Besides its thickness, which is probably its number one thing I would say, it's got these little grooves cut into the top here that you can really get on a ferro rod and get a good scrape on it. So this is the Blind Horse Knives Pathfinder School logos on there. So yeah, this is from before that company split up. This shelter is going much better than the last one. I really didn't want to hurt any live stuff last time, but I really don't think there's a way around it. I end up with a lot of these green saplings that I can use for all sorts of random stuff. Just the bases of them. I'm throwing them on the shelter right now just as cross members. Just keep things together. What if I want to do other stuff that I could? This tree is alive, so I didn't check. Again, I didn't check for widowmakers so much. I mean, I kind of looked around a bit, but I need to really dedicate some time to that. But I don't really see any. So that's good. And aspens are so thin, I don't really think they really contain many widowmakers. They're really easy to see through. So I think the chances of that happening are quite slim with these quaking aspens. So the reason I'm not using my saw for doing this is I think that this batoning is just so much easier. All I do is just smack it and I'm done. I mean, I smack it, what, like 3 or 4 times? Get these little ones, I could probably do it in one. See if I can do it. Yep, 1 hit. So I should say that I do know, according to the weather, that it's not going to rain today, tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. We're in the middle of summer here in Utah, so we don't get a whole ton of rain, even though we wish we got more. But I'm building this, even though I don't need it, for protection and practice is really what it is I'm just practicing some shelter making. I mean, I really wish I could get this together faster. The materials I'm using do take some time to put together, right? I got to do the beaver chew and cut them down, but I could probably make do with some other stuff, but this is mostly for practice, which is of course why I'm out here entirely. Got plenty more of these saplings here. So I'm just using these to kind of create some cross supports so that when I lay some more of the grasses and stuff across, they don't fall through. I wonder, this skin on this aspen peels off quite well. I wonder if I could make some cordage out of it. I think I might try that later. Yeah, so these are, all these saplings are quaking aspen. So I can kind of show you. If you shake it, the leaves kind of rotate in their own little specific patterns. And when the wind is going, you can really get a cool show. I'll see if I can get a shot of it later. But it kind of looks like the salt and pepper on old TVs. Just the fuzz that you got. It kind of looks like that, but with green and the sky. It's really pretty. But I'll try and get a shot of that later. I think I might hop under this in a second, kind of look at it, see where I should put more saplings. I think I'm going to need more saplings than this. I thought this might be enough, but now that I'm looking at it, I think I might need more. And I'm not really sure how rainproof this is going to be. With the way these leaves act in the wind, I really don't think I'm going to get much in the way of rain resistance. But this shelter is already loads better than the last one I built, so happy with that. I think I do need to just go kind of across, right up top. Don't really have much right up at the top here. It would have been kind of nice to leave these a little bit longer and have them come out a little bit further. So then I could kind of have a work area underneath here, but it's a bit late for that. One thing I really wish I had was is an anvil, which is basically just a log, a thick, this diameter log that you just put down. You can split on it, you can work on it, you can baton on top of it, all sorts of stuff. I mean, I've been using this kind of as my anvil for now, but I would like to have a full-size anvil, but I don't really have anything to process something that large, and in a walking bug out, I really don't think I can bring a chainsaw. That's just silly. I mean, I'd love to bring a chainsaw if it didn't have to have, 5 gallons of fuel as a few weeks worth of use, heavy use or something, But I'm not going to carry it. Just the chainsaw and that gallons of gas would be more than I'd be willing to carry. But I might be able to go around this fallen log over here and kind of get a smaller anvil, maybe about that big. But that would be nice to have. But for now, I'm going to keep working on this shelter. All right, I want to show you guys kind of an alternative beaver chew technique that I've been using quite a bit, just because it's a little bit easier, especially with these ones, which seem to be so soft. So you kind of just go in way too far and then bend this over. Then with all this tension created there, it's really easy to just go straight down, and that tension pulls this apart. Here, let me make sure my hand's not in the way. So then you get kind of two shots. You get this sort of V-shaped cut, but that's kind of what I've been using a lot, except on the most thick ones, like something like this is just so much bigger. But when they're thinner like that, that works pretty good. All right, so I got this shelter done pretty good with the saplings. Got fairly good coverage in there. Still got plenty of sunlight coming through, but with the materials I've got and the skill level I've got, I think this is pretty good. I'm going to take some of these guys, there's one right here, cut some of those down because they got the larger leaves on there, see if I can pile some of those up to really help it rainproof a bit better than this. But it's looking quite good so far. Glad I've got the large amount of supports that I do. I can pile on tons and tons on this and not have to worry about it really fallen down. And I mean, my cordage here is nice and taut, but this is 750 paracord, so that means it can hold up 750 pounds on a single strand. It's quite tight, but I think this will be absolutely fine. And I just did a shoelace knot on the side. Just as a quick side note, there's quite a few sheep herders around here, and they have thousands of sheep that they run through this national forest. Sorry about that tapping. And I'm glad that they haven't run through here, because when the sheep do, they eat everything. And I mean, you'll have about this much left up off the ground, just like a lawnmower across the whole thing. And so I'm glad I came to this spot, because now I've got the materials available, unlike in the spring, which none of this stuff had grown up yet. So that's kind of the situation. The difference between then the last mock Bugout and this one is that I've got the plants that have grown up in here and I can still use them. Alright, so we are at the very entrance of my shelter here. No, Penny's trying to cuddle me. No, Penny. And I wanted to try out some fire making. No. So I've got my Altoids tin here. This has got some char cloth in it. So I've got my magnifying glass as well. And while I've still got this sunlight here, I've got some pretty good sun right in this little spot. I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to give it a shot. I want to see if I can get this to glow. Smoke with this. I don't really see any leaves going across here, so I think I'm okay. But we'll see. I haven't started a fire with char cloth and a magnifying glass before. This might, the mildly covered spot that I'm in might be too much cover. Oh wow. I was using the dial here. I was like, that's kind of weirdly shaped. No. And it keeps getting in the way. Causing some problems. Okay, I've got it like a... Penny, get your head out of the way, dog. No, out of the way. Okay, I had like a pinpoint on there, but there we go. I see some smoke coming off. Not sure if that's showing up on camera. Wisps of smoke here. Take a look at it. Whoa! Check that out. Well, that totally worked. Wow. Okay. I didn't think it would be so easy. Apparently, this is the K&R Alpine or something. K&R something. But it's a really nice one. It's got a nice compass. It's got this, the compass part of it is actually pretty squishy, so it's got oil in here so that if you step on it or something like that, it's not going to break it. It's also got a magnifying glass, some measurements for common map sizes, a metal mirror with a little slice through it so that you can actually see through it. So you can use this for signaling, for first aid, to check out your body, start fires, do compass with, and manipulate maps. I've also written down some conversion ratios on here between miles and feet and meters and stuff like that. But that was surprising. And it's still pretty hot. Hopefully that goes out in there. But I was not expecting it to be so easy with such little sunlight. That's pretty cool. I think I'm going to get started on my fire. And this shelter is most of the way done. I need to get a few more of the larger leafed plants on there and get that finished up. So this is going to be my workbench for a little bit. This is where I made my this is from the shot from the other side of where I made my maul. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this log down into some more firewood sized lengths. Alright, there we go. So this was the standing dead that I cut down. Man. Definitely need to do this stuff more. My shoulders getting pretty tired. Whew. All right, I've got my maul here. I'll take this wood, just baton it down into some more thumb-sized pieces, something like that. I'll collect a lot. There was a ton of standing dead aspen twigs that I can use for even smaller kindling. But I'm going to try to do a sustainable fire. I'm going to use char cloth, magnifying glass, and a bird's nest tinder bundle to make this fire. So the reason I want to practice that is because it's very sustainable from a solo bushcraft standpoint. So I can take the some punky wood and twigs and really small things and things like that. I can cook it in my fire inside of an enclosed metal can. So this is an Altoids tin, poked a little hole on top. The gases can escape, but not enough oxygen can get in that it can combust. So you can cook it all in a fire, make more char cloth, and so long as your compass doesn't get destroyed, your magnifying glass doesn't have to be a compass, then you can make fire pretty much perpetually. There are certain ways to make char cloth without a tin if you don't have one, though it's pretty hard to not find one. I mean, there's metal pieces just lying around, just garbage, old cans and stuff. You can make it using that. But you can, no. Almost stabbed herself on my knife. You can take the wood you want to convert into char cloth, or I'm sorry, charred wood. You can put it underneath the fire, cover it in dirt, like half an inch or so, and then that will starve it of oxygen, but it'll still get hot enough to turn it into char cloth. It's not as precise and it's not as neat and clean. You might have some brown spots still on it, but you can work with that, and that means that all you need is a magnifying glass. So that's a pretty cool method. All right, so I've got a little stack of some kindling on here. Now I need to go get some more tinder-sized, some very small pieces, sticks, twigs. There's plenty of dead stuff, so I'm going to collect that. And then I see a lot of grasses over on the other side here that might be dead enough to make some bird's nest out of. But if I don't have that, I could try a feather stick, but I don't see any pine really around here anywhere, so it'll be kind of hard to find some good material to make a feather stick out of, but I can give it a shot. As long as I can get really fine carvings, I can probably still start it with my ferro rod. So that's probably the route I'm going to take on this. Alright, so I was looking at that grass, but unfortunately it was yellow, but the inside was green. No. I looked her in the eyes. I shouldn't do that. So what I'm going to do instead is I've got this bark from the dead standing that I used to do some of this with, and some of this firewood. Oh wait, staring me right in the face. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back of my knife and shred this and kind of make a bird's nest out of it. This material isn't very long. I'm not sure how long of pieces I can keep it in, but I'm going to try to keep it in longer pieces so I can kind of form a nice large bird's nest. But we'll see how this goes. I've never used bark in this manner before, so I've just got a little bark bowl right here that I can use to hopefully collect some of the stuff that I'm knocking off. It's not shredding the best. It's still really tough. It's still got a lot of cross pieces going on it. The outside bark goes horizontal, but the inside bark goes vertical. Okay, maybe I just might have to peel off the inside bark. I'm not sure how well I can do that, seeing how brittle this stuff is. It just busts so easy. So the outside stuff is really hard. It's dry, but it's not long, and I don't think I can shred it. So I think I'll just have to take off the outside layer, save the inside, and then I'm going to shred that all. I think that'll work much better. So I'll just keep gently and carefully, because I almost stabbed myself, gently and carefully. It's really hard because when I slice it, now it's so thin that I can't hold on to it anymore because it just breaks. This is not remotely enough bark. I'm going to have to go collect quite a bit more, I think, to get this done. I mean, I might be able to start a fire with just that. I doubt it, I doubt it. I was thinking maybe I could kind of bust up the outside bark, the outer bark, and shred it, but it doesn't work too good. It's still, the inside bark is so attached that I lose about half the inside bark. It's quite difficult to get that bark, but this looks like, I mean, I guess I could go look around a bit more, but this looks like some of the best bird's nest material. So the reason I need this, for anybody who doesn't know what I'm doing, I'm making a bird's nest, which is a collection of very fine material that's dry in the shape of a bird's nest. And what you do with it is you take a coal or a substandard method of fire starting, and you can put the coal into it, and if you blow on it, it'll spread it out, and you can start a fire with it. Because this will finally catch, and it'll be a big flame, is what the theory is. Sounds like this. I really wish I had that anvil I talked about, the large block of wood, big stump, flat stump to work on. I can kind of shred this stuff. It ends up being more of a powder, so I can't really manipulate it with my hands. Not easily. Got a bunch of weird little flies that showed up. With the sun going down, looking at these flies. The solution is fire. Might go search for some sagebrush bark. That stuff is just always so dead, and it's already just shredded by the sun. I mean, it ends up looking like thin stuff like this, and it just peels off. I might go looking around for that, but I have to venture out into the grassland. Right, well, I'm going to keep shredding this, and I might go look for some sagebrush bark, I'm not sure. But this is well on its way to becoming a nice little tinder bundle bird's nest. You know, and I could do that. Just, instead of doing like a tinder bundle or a bird's nest really, I can take this shredded bark, shred it up a bit more, but hold it in these larger pieces of bark, and that will be my structure. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to give that a shot. Just kind of like this, kind of like a hot dog, but with some unappetizing shredded bark. Really don't think this would taste good. Wonder if I could make her eat some. Probably not. Probably shouldn't. My parents' other dog had a obsession with white things. You just put a tissue down, or you drop a tissue, and he'd just eat it. You drop a cotton ball, he'd eat it. You drop, he was actually a blonde dog, so if you pulled off a piece of some fluff, some hair on him, and if it was white enough, he'd just eat it. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know why, but he just loved it. And we discovered that by accident. He just loved it. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do, I think that's fine enough. you know, I'm gonna give it a try, because if I could shred it more, but I kind of want to see what the limit is. I want to see how large of shredded bark will take up. So I've got a pile of some twigs over here, and I've got some kindling and some larger pieces. I'm going to start my fire. I'm going to keep it over here, which is kind of further away from me, but still enclosed in this area. And but not enough that I hope no pieces of stuff land on me, because I've got random burn holes in a bunch of my gear from this last time and times before that. But hopefully if I'm far enough underneath this cover, I won't get hit with so much stuff. The dog is slowly trying to stay awake as she is tilting to the side. Alright, I'm going to clear out this spot. We'll start a fire. Alright, so this is a relatively sunny spot. Just need to clear out enough so that I don't get any shadows across this log. I'll use it as my starting point. Okay, it looks fairly good. Oh yes, definitely stand in that spot precisely. Alright, I'm going to put my char cloth right on there, get it lit up, blow it into here, and then take the bark and carry it over, put the tinder on it. I might not get that on camera, because unfortunately I'm here by myself, and I can't move the camera and carry my tinder bundle, or my fire at the same time. Alright, so let's take out a piece of char cloth from last time. So it was lit and I couldn't see. You know what, it's more sunny over here. And I couldn't see that it was lit. So this should go up pretty quick, I think. Where is it? There we go. There it is. Okay, it's smoking. That might be enough right there. Yep. Alright, so that is caught. So now I can kind of surround it in this bark and get blown on it. We'll see how this goes. There we go. Okay. Okay. That's going. Barely. It's kind of hard to do the camera and this at the same time. Let me get this finished up on here. It's still smoking. I think I can still rescue this. It's kind of dead, but I think I can keep it going. Needs more oxygen. I've got it too locked in there. Woo! Caught my hand. I don't think it's quite ready. This might be a little bit damp because it keeps going out. Ah, dang it. Okay, I've got a really good coal right here. I'm going to move it over under all that, get that all going. Try again. Really sorry about the camera angle. hat out of the way. Keep getting hit by random poles. Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay, that's really going pretty good. Try to not smother it. Get enough of the fine pieces on there. Okay, it's really starting to go. Just a few twigs are starting to pick. Really need these smaller pieces in there. No, no, don't go near the fire. Trust me. You see me put my face in it, but you don't know what it does. You think this is just fun and games. This is how we live, Penny. Granted, you've got all sorts of fancy gear built in. I do not have so much fancy gear. Okay. There we go. That's really starting to pick up. So, nice part about this spot is it's very green. I mean, it's just wet all over the place. I'm sitting down. It feels cold on my butt. It's nice and wet here. Well, there we go. A sustainable fire. That was made using local materials, a piece of a pre-made char cloth, and a magnifying glass. Pretty awesome. So now what I can do with this, well, I mean, there's a myriad of things I can do with this, but what I'm going to do with this right now is get some water boiling, purify some water, and then I'm going to cook some food, warm up some food. This idiot butterfly, what is that thing doing? You're just fanning. You're gonna die, butterfly. All right, I need to get some larger pieces on here. Let's put those on. Yeah, I think I can take these much larger pieces now. Throw it right on there. Fire's gonna get moved around a bit, but it'll still be alive, burning. I'll take some of these kindling again. That idiot, I don't want you to die, but you're determined. So I was having a hard time getting the water bottle into the clear part of the stream. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my cup. Sorry about that. Use my cup instead. Get into this really clear stuff. I did that by accident, don't do it on purpose. And pour it into here. So this is a lot of filtration going on there. That's good. Less gunk I have to drink. It's still going to be cloudy water no matter what I do. But at least this way I can keep it semi-clear. I mean, there's like little bits of gunk in there. Little tiny sticks or whatever the heck it is. The nice part about having this bottle is it's a smaller container, so you can do smaller things in it, like cook a little bit of water, things like that. So my fire over there migrated a bit. It lit that log next to it, which was kind of surprising. So I poured some water on it using my cup, and then moved the fire to the side. So I do have a Sawyer water filter, but I don't want to use that because once you use it, once it's wet, if you're in freezing conditions, you got to keep it warm, otherwise the water will expand when it's frozen and destroy your filter. I'm surprised how many tiny little sticks just keep showing up. I mean, where are they coming from? Dog. Nope. Right. That's that bottle full. Yay, bandana. And I'm going to take this over the fire and boil it so I can cook myself a mountain house. Alright, so I moved my fire over a little bit since that log caught. I'm going to take this guy, put it on a nice sturdy spot. Ooh, that's nice and hot. I'm going to dry this guy out. You know, it looks like a great spot is right here. That looks like a great spot. Whew. Last time I ended up with lots of little ashes inside my water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy, put it on top. That way the ashes can't get in, but it's not so tight that it's going to explode or anything from water pressure. So yeah, and I can pull that stuff out using my Leatherman. I might make some tweezers or something like that. Those can be pretty useful little chopstick things basically. Alright, so looks like I drank all my water. Not a big deal. I'm going to take this, set it down carefully inside of here so that the lip doesn't get touched by anything, but it's submerged enough and the water is flowing by that it'll cool it back down. So it'll probably take 20-30 minutes to cool that water down. It's about 2/3 full. So that's going to take a while to cool down, and by then my meal should be done. So, and then I can just take some Gatorade, put it in that water so it doesn't taste any gunky, even though I really don't think it's going to taste all that bad. But surprisingly, cooked water does taste weird, unless it is pure water. Well, this is not pure water, so it's got some boiled to it. I had to move these rocks to get to the water a bit better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rock and I'm going to put it next to my fire to help contain it a bit better, because it's just a little silly how it keeps moving to the side. So I'm going to, I'm not too worried about it because I'm right here. I come check on it every couple minutes, so I really don't think it's got time to start a forest fire. But I'll put some rocks behind it anyways, just to protect the area and make sure it really doesn't spread. Alright, so I've gotten the fire under some more control there. Little sparks kept going to the side, lighting up some bark underneath the log there. So I cleared it out, put some rocks there. Need to move one of them back, but drying off my bandana, got that water going in there. Heard it making some noises, so it's getting closer. I don't think I'm gonna have a whole fire tonight. It was a lot of work to do it last time. I didn't need it for warmth, I was just doing it for protection. But I think this time what I'm gonna do is I'm just not gonna bother with that. Have my shotgun ready to go. Sleep under this. I just don't want to have to get up again and again and again in the middle of the night like I did before. I know that if I didn't have the sleeping bag and the pad, I might have to get up over and over again, but that's why I bring them, is so that I don't have to just curl up in a ball next to a fire and try to stay warm that way. I'm using my charger here with the external battery to charge up my camera batteries. So it's got a 12-volt output on there, and over here this guy charges on 12 volt. So that's basically car voltage, a cigarette lighter. So I can charge that thing on my car, or on my external battery, or on my solar panel. The sun's down too much right now, it's behind some clouds and stuff. If I really wanted to, I could go find a spot and get some sunlight on there, but I really don't need it right now. So it looks like my bandana's dry on one spot, so I better get that moved before it starts to burn. Still got quite a bit of the kindling sitting over there. Tomorrow I'll try another sustainable fire and probably make some char cloth. But for tonight, I'm just going to stick with the char cloth I got, which is still plenty more. So I got like another 10 pieces in there. And I'll get cooking on this mountain house and have myself dinner. Surprisingly, I have cell reception right in this spot. I don't get reception like anywhere else, but apparently this spot. I had no idea that I got reception down here. But apparently I do. My sister gave me a call. It was pretty funny. But thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get going on this dinner.